Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So in this episode, I'm thinking of telling you the meaning of moksha of Buddhism. So what is moksha is your maybe what is moksha is your question. So what moksha so in this episode, what I'd like to explain to you is how should I say liberation and emancipation or release. So maybe you have not understood after this explanation. So what so how should I have thought of how to explain to you, because this is really complicated. This is really a complicated concept, and every time I'm explaining content related to this concept. So I'm often confused because I don't know exact word to this concept of the word. So before actually starting to explain the meaning of moksha. So let me tell you how to call that concept I'm going to explain in Japanese language. So at first this is geratsu in my mother tongue. So please, or geratsu, please understand, there are two similar words. Satori, there are two words having similar concept or similar meaning. So Satori and Geratsu are the words explaining the concept I'm going to explain to you. So to start with, the meaning Satori and Geratsu is a state where people who have reached that state, or people who have reached that situation have or feel no desire. So please make sure this point. So maybe I have told you many times in past episodes of this podcast that there are some people called Buddha who could successfully reach the situation or the state on which those Buddha people do not feel any desire or any lust for or any cravings for mundane things or physical stuff, which is a state. And so those state or the situation is what I'm going to talk about. So those state or such a state or such a situation are called satori or geratsu in my mother tongue. And this originally, or not originally speaking, but maybe so the origin of that concept is derived from India. And at first, so maybe I don't know I don't know much about human history, but so the origin was the East Ash. I don't know. So maybe this might be wrong, but actually, so the greatest person in Buddhism was the founder like person of Buddhism is Gautama Siddhartha. Well, Gautama Siddhartha is a Buddha. So there are many Buddhas. Or Buddha is a kind of an occupation, or Buddha is a kind of the name of a position. And there are people called Buddha who have successfully reached the state or the situation where those Buddha people do not feel any desire. So how should I say? So yeah. And the origin of the concept is, as I told you. So the origin lies in India, and so the meaning of Buddha, not meaning of Buddha, but the meaning of Satori and Geratsu is such a state. Anyway, so that is moksha, and translating the concept into English language, as I told you. So that concept is translated into liberation, emancipation, and release. So that means that concept, not that concept, yeah, that concept means that you are, that concept means you are relieved, or if you reach that state, or if you become a Buddha, you are, which means you are released from mundane desires, or mundane lusts for mundane things. So you do not, which is why you do not feel anything. You do not feel any sufferings, which is a concept, or which is a true merit of moksha. So if you so maybe so in case you have not understood with this explanation, or in case you have not understood my explanation, so let me use an explanation I brought from Wikipedia. So wait a moment, please. So as I have told you many times in past episodes, so Asian culture is Asian cultures, or many Asian countries are influenced by Chinese culture, and maybe so I have told you sometimes that so among Asian countries, the strongest or the leading country is mainland China, and other surrounding countries and other cultures or other Asian countries are called barbarous by people in mainland China in ancient times. So like which as I told you, the meaning of moksha in Japanese, and the Japanese words are saturi and gedatsu. So gedatsu one. So gedatsu is written in Chinese characters, which means if you are frequent listeners, you can understand that. So gedatsu has Chinese characters, which is why that concept is shared by other Asian countries using Chinese, which have used Chinese characters in the past. So, for example, one of the countries which have used Chinese characters in the past is South Korea, or Korean people have used. But in this case, I'd like to use an example of Republic of Korea. So that I brought. So I could find out really a good explanation from the Wikipedia of Korean page. And in Korean language, gedatsu is called, well, gedatsu is read hetaru. So anyway, so this is just a piece of information, but gedatsu is read Jietuo in mainland Chinese language, or Mandarin Chinese language. Gedatsu is read Jietuo in Mandarin, or Putonghua, and Hetaru, or gedatsu is read Hetaru in South Korean language. And the explanation of Hetaru or South Korean one is really good, which is why I'm going to read aloud this one. So Hetaru는 다르마리의 종교에서 몸과 마음의 건우회와 번노로부터 해방되는 것 또는 해방된 상태를 말한다. So this means I'm not going to read aloud again. So the key word is the key phrase is 몸과 마음의 건우회와 번노로부터 해방되는 또는 해방된 상태를 말한다. So konue means suffering, and bonue means desires. So simply saying, they are the meanings of them are stuff like that. So in this part, what I'd like you to do is to imagine a situation. For example, so please imagine that. So you stand against a terrorist, really a dangerous terrorist, and that terrorist points at the terrorist points at you with a gun. So please imagine such a situation, and the terrorist is going to kill you. Please imagine such a situation, which is a hypothetical situation I'm good at using. So the terrorist is going to kill you in seconds. So in such a seconds, in those seconds, or on that moment, maybe you have felt suffering. You have felt suffering, or you'd feel suffering if you get in such a situation, or if you got in such a situation, you'd feel sufferings. That is because you have a desire to live on. So if you feel happy living on, so if you feel happy when you live on, or by living on, so if you face really a lethal, or if you face really a deadly dangerous situation, literally, you are going to feel, or you may feel suffering. That is because you have a desire to live on, because you want to live on, which is why you feel suffering when you face death. Please understand like that. So, like which, you feel sufferings because you have desires. So, if you can't eat, for example, if you can't eat for now, so if you feel suffering because of you can't eat things, that is because you have desires to eat things, or eat food. And if you feel, for example, so if you feel sufferings because you can't go outside, that is because you have desires to go outside for playing. And if you feel like living away from your workplaces, that is because you have desires to live away from workplaces. Or if you want to live away from workplaces to have a drinking party, for example. So like which human beings feel sufferings. That is because human beings have desires, which is a concept, or which is a fundamental understanding of moksha. So, which is why, so as I explained, so maybe you do not understand Korean language. So translating that Korean language, that is, so I don't give you the exact translation. So that Korean language means, wait a moment please. So that Korean language means, so your body or your heart are relieved away from suffering and desire, or hetal means such a situations where your body and your heart or your feeling are relieved from sufferings and desires. Such a situation is called hetal or moksha. So of course that's all actually. So that's all. The meaning of moksha is that's all. So 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 I'm sorry for my taking some time. So in this part at last, this is the last part of this episode. So in this part at last, I'd like to tell you the true merit of moksha. So by cessation of feeling desires, or by stopping feeling desires, so one of the merit is to, for example, one of the merit is that you can make a lot of money. So to make a lot of money, so I will tell you again. So one of the merits of moksha is to make a lot of money. So of course you in this case you should not discard, or you should not trash the desire to want money. So so you cannot, so to make money you cannot stop wanting money. So which is the basic understanding on this part. So to make money, in some cases, or in some business situations, you have to act emotionlessly. which sometimes that's really difficult. So to make money, for example, it's fine. It's fine by imagining stock trading situation. So when trading stocks, for example, if the stock price of a company plunges, so you may get nervous, but to earn money, you have to make your thoughts start with work correctly without any failures. So in such a situation where the stock price of a company plunges or falls, so you have to think what to do next. Like which, so that suggests to other types of situation, and I don't explain to you the details, because the primary purpose of this episode is to tell you the meaning of moksha. So of so the story has already ended, so it's fine to stop playing this episode. And anyway, so the true merit, that one of the merits of moksha is to make a lot of money. So by reaching a state really close to moksha, so you can become or you get able to make a lot of money by getting the ability to make your mind work even in tough situations, which is one of the merits of moksha. Please understand stuff like that. So coming back to the original topic, the meaning of moksha the meaning of moksha is that moksha is a state or situation where people who have reached that state or that situation have no desire for mundane things or physical things. Please understand it like that. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you.